In this video, I'm gonna tell you about the most valuable pound for pound personal credit card out there. So if you're looking to get the most bang for your buck when it comes to personal credit cards, make sure you watch this video to the end, because I'm not only going to tell you what card I'm talking about specifically, but what exactly makes it such a great carry in your wallet and how you can use it to run up a bag without doing anything extra. Let's go. But first, I want to take you back to when I got my first apartment. It was actually this building right here, and the rent was about $1,100 back then. And that was my biggest monthly expense. And I remember having to save 2 whole weeks worth of my paycheck just to pay for the rent on the apartment. Which brings me to when I actually used to have to pay my rent. I also remember having to go to the local post office and stand in line for a half an hour, sometimes an hour, just to get a cashier's check to be able to pay the landlord of the building. I either had to use the money off my debit card to get this cashier's check from the post office, or pay a $45 extra charge if I wanted to pay my rent online. In this case, I chose to wait in line. Now, of course, this was super frustrating because I always had to wait in these long lines, and the post office overall just had weird hours. Fast forward a few years later, now I'm definitely starting to take my money and my credit a lot more seriously. And a big change that I made was that now, instead of using my debit card for everything, I try to use my credit card to make those same type of purchases. And that's mainly because when I use my credit cards for purchases, I get a lot of other benefits that I can use for cheap flights and discounted travel all over the world. So this got me to start thinking, what if I can pay my biggest monthly expense, my rent, with a credit card and start racking up those benefits a lot quicker? So the search began. So recently, when it comes to my credit and getting credit cards, I've been focusing less on just going after cards I think I can get approved for, and really honing in on cards that have more benefits than just the credit that the company will give to me. And over the last year, there's one card by far that has definitely become my favorite go-to on a day-to-day basis. And not only is this card really good for normal day-to-day purchases, but it's the first credit card that I know that's specifically designed for you to be able to pay your rent with. And that credit card is the BILT card. It's an all-metal card that allows you multiple ways to pay your rent directly to your landlord. So remember when I told y'all in my first apartment, to be able to pay my rent online, they charged a $45 transaction fee to use a card. Now the BILT card helps you get around this, because when you pay your rent, the BILT card actually gives you an account and routing number that you can use directly in your online portal to pay your rent through. And this way you can avoid that pesky transaction fee. But that's not all, bag chasers. If your landlord doesn't accept any of those electronic payment methods, the BILT card will actually mail them out a physical check on your behalf to be able to go ahead and pay your rent that way as well. Honestly, I don't know any other cards that are geared to help you pay your rent as easily and as flexible as the BILT card. Now, even though this is definitely a cool way for you to put your rent on a credit card, doesn't mean to carry a balance on the BILT card. Make sure that when you get paid, when you pay your rent with the BILT card, you pay off your credit card balance as soon as it hits the card statement. We definitely don't want to fall into bad financial habits just because we found a flexible way to pay our rent. Now, BILT isn't just some metal card that you can conveniently pay your rent with. Y'all know I wouldn't be me if it wasn't a play to run up an extra bag here. Now, remember those benefits that I was telling you about earlier that I now look for in my credit cards? Well, one of the major benefits that I was alluding to is reward points. And when it comes to BILT, they actually let you accumulate rewards points just for paying your rent. Now, all the things that I've got rewarded to do, I've never seen a card give you reward points just for paying your rent. With BILT, they actually let you earn 1 point per dollar spent on rent up to $100,000 every year. And in the last year, I've used reward points just like this to travel to Bali, Canada, and to be able to stay in some of the best 5-star hotels around the world for the low. Now, one downside is that BILT typically doesn't offer an intro bonus when you first sign up for their cards like most other major credit cards do. But in my opinion, the additional benefits that you get with this card more than make up for this. Not only does BILT reward you for paying your rent with the card, but their transfer portal has some of the best partners that I've seen out there. I would definitely say that BILT's transfer points portal is very much comparable to that of some of the big name credit card companies like Amex and Chase, but the BILT card doesn't carry an annual fee like some of the other popular cards from these companies do. For example, you can use BILT rewards points and transfer to airline partners like Air Canada Aeroplane, Alaska Airlines, and Emirates Sky Rewards. You can also use BILT rewards points with hotel brands like Hilton Honors, Marriott Bonvoy, and World of Hyatt. And when it comes to airlines and hotels, these are definitely some of the major players in the travel game. So depending on how you take advantage of your BILT rewards points, you can definitely lock in some great deals and discounts to help you travel the world, if that's your thing. And rent isn't the only way that you can earn rewards points with BILT. The quickest way that I stack up points is actually with the 3x dine and earn that they offer. That means you earn 3 rewards points for every dollar that you spend at restaurants and dining spots. And trust me, this can add up fast, especially for somebody like me who tends to eat out way too much. To be honest, this is probably where I earned the most BILT rewards points from all of my spend. And that's the key to earning lots of rewards points, is to be able to make purchases with your credit card that you normally would anyway. And since rent and eating out are probably my 2 biggest expenses, this makes the BILT card a perfect way to do this. Now, bag chasers, I want you to go ahead and drop a comment below if you can relate to this, and you would definitely run up a lot of rewards points in these same categories. Let me know below where my foodie's at, y'all. Now, I also must add, to be able to take advantage of these rewards points that you earn with the BILT card, you do have to use it at least 5 times in that month. But that is pretty easy to do. I usually just link it to some of my subscriptions that go monthly, or just use it to make some small purchase like bubble gum or snacks in a month. And now that you know why BILT is my favorite go-to credit card right now, let's get into some of the tea and talk about some of the data points that I had when I got approved for it. So when I first applied for the BILT card, I did get approved immediately, and they gave me a $13,000 credit limit. At the time of the application, I think I had a mid 700 credit score, and I didn't have any derogatories or lates on my credit report. Now, I have heard of some people with credit scores as low as a 670 getting approved for the BILT card, but personally, I would recommend that you have a credit score of at least 700 with some good history of about a year and with all your accounts in good standing. Like I said earlier, you definitely want to have good spending habits when it comes to using not only the BILT card, but credit cards in general, because the goal here isn't just to put money on the card and let it run up a balance, but to be able to use the card for things that we would normally, but rack up rewards points in the meantime. And after considering some of the main benefits of the BILT card that we discussed today, including the ability to be able to pay and earn reward points on rent, 3x dining earn, and a top tier transfer portal, I think it's safe to say that the BILT card is one of the most powerful and flexible cards out on the market right now. Plus, since there's no annual fee, the BILT card is a super easy carry to be in your wallet day to day. And if the BILT card overall sounds like a good play to you, make sure you check out the first link in my description so you can go ahead and apply and get your hands on your own. And even though you now know my favorite go-to credit card, it won't really matter much if you're still out there making bad financial decisions and not working towards gaining your financial freedom. But I was once there too, bag chasers. So if you can relate to that feeling, make sure you watch this video next, where I break down the exact blueprint I used to go from being broke to creating multiple streams of income. Let's get it.